Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. My goodness. Here we are, the Grow You live stream. For those of you that don't know, this is round two, but this is the real thing, baby. This is the real thing. Here we are. The Grow You live stream is powered by the Nest Network. The Nest Network, we're going to get into the acronym in just a minute, but it's us. It's Derek, it's Arsenio, it's Keeman, it's Taryn, it's AD, it's Aisha, it's myself. I'm one of the seven co hosts, Ashley Schuler, and I am excited to get started. And this is an intro, you guys, to the Grow You live stream so you can learn who we are and what we're going to preview for weeks to come. So I'm not going to waste any time and I'm going to kick it over to Derek. Derek, tell us who you are, what you do, a fun fact if you want to.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Derek Seymour, originally from Savannah, Georgia, but I live in Jacksonville, Florida now. I've been here almost 30 years. The Navy deposited me here a while back. I was stationed here. Transitioned out of the Navy into civilian life. I've made my bread through the education field and real estate.
I love that. We got a real estate mogul and titan, but because you're not like it's not like selling sunset.
I
No
received
shade,
that.
okay? No, no. um, but you got an empire building, Derek. Arsenio, quote Bottle Dotson. Let's go.
Yep, I am coming to you live from the sunny city of Chicago, Illinois. And yes, the West Side is still the best side. That's where I was born and raised, still here now, raising a beautiful family. And I am a coach with an emphasis on financial services.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I want to kick it over to Aisha. And Aisha, I definitely want you to tell us where you're from, all that good stuff. But also, in connection to that, I do want to make sure that we pivot to, how we do know each other as well. If you want to give like a little teaser, I know I was going to give like the full story, but Aisha, tell us something.
What's good people? Thank you for your patience, first off, because the live wasn't live in, the interwebs weren't interwebbing, the systems weren't systeming. Okay, all right. But I'm Aisha Thomas. I hail from the Main Street of Sierra Leone, Freetown. What up to my Salon people? And when I migrated here, I grew up mainly in the DC area. I do organizational learning, development, and leadership consulting. So I help train and develop leaders to improve their performance, well-being, and diverse. And that's with EDIB. Okay, equity, diversity, inclusion, belongingness for their talent management, get those talent management skills together. And I'm also a service member. I serve in the United States Air Force. Shout out to my Air Force good people. But outside of that, how do we connect? Well, we were blessed to have an opportunity to connect through a personal development community. You see these beautiful individuals here. We all wanted to connect and grow and become better intrinsically. So an amazing individual out there that you all probably know of, heard of, is Eric Thomas. Shout out to ETA and ET and all those amazing people. His yes and his calling, which we're going to get into later, his yes is why we all came together. We were in a community. We wanted to grow. And once we grew, we had an opportunity to help others grow. So for all of us, we ended up in a leadership role, and that leadership role provided us an opportunity to support others within that community. And come to find out, y'all, we started supporting ourselves, all right, like each other, all right. So that was a creation of the Avengers, these great people here. Our connection allowed us to grow. We realized that there was something that was God designed behind what we were doing, and now we're here to take those deposits that we've created, that we received, and give, because that's truly how work is done. We get honored with receiving, and now we're giving out. So I'm honored to be here.
Oh, beautiful. And that is the story, folks. This is no Lifetime television for women. These are the factual things that have taken place. And you're going to hear more on the intricacies of more of how we knew each other, or how we know each other, And yeah, how we really built this thing, and that's that. Yeah, because we gonna piece this thing. We gonna make it like a what do you call it, the crock pot. Set it and forget it. We not gonna rush this thing. Okay, Tara, what's going on, girl?
Hello, hello. I am Tara Katina, and I'm coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. And I am in the education background. I am an author, a life coach, and a entrepreneur. And I definitely am here to tell you more about helping families reduce stress and manage their emotions, and my perspective on that, on what we do. So I am so excited that you guys joined us today. So welcome.
Yes, yes, yes. It's gonna be good. This is good. Keeman, tell us, because you're behind some. You got some things going on. You and your multimedia company, just brick by brick taking over.
That's what it is. Let's go, y'all. Well, as she said, I am Keeman Pittman, and I am a digital marketing consultant, and that's what I do, y'all. I help individuals market and get leads. You know what I'm saying? And design websites. If you need a site, whatever got to do with marketing, I am the one. Okay, but I am currently in Houston, by the way of Austin, Texas. That's where I reside, Houston, Texas. So let's go, y'all. Glad to be here. Our lovely peoples.
Oh, I love from H Town. I love that. Adonis Mitchell, but you can call me. Okay, finish that sentence, please.
You know it. Y'all know it. If you've been with us or rocking with us, you know what's up. My name is Adonis Mitchell, but you can call me AD, and I am a personal and professional development coach with an emphasis on operational success. So, as they have stated, we are family, and we want to make sure that we can add value to your life through this podcast and the Nest Network. We got some great content coming for you all, and we're gonna tell you like all that here in a little bit.
Oh, I love that. And just a quick introduction of myself, Ashley Schuler. Uh, in sum, I just like to keep the people organized. That's really it. A policy professional, project manager, work with a wide range of teams and companies to really build uh, projects from the ground up, help people stay organized so that they can increase productivity, reduce time, and increase revenue. So I want to go right on back over to Derek, where Derek, I want you to talk to the people because we have a podcast coming. And I think people need to understand what Grow You is about, the why behind it. And I want you to give us a little something.
Yeah, sure. It really goes back to our origin story, right? Us coming together. We were all fortunate and blessed, as someone alluded to earlier, to get together and work in an organization called Breathe University. And in doing that, we got to lead some really, really great people, some of whom are on the call with us now. So really appreciate them joining us. But we found out there was just this need, this hunger in people to just grow and develop. And we were blessed with the opportunity to shepherd, all of these people from around the world. I mean, I was able to get on live streams with people in the UK. I mean, I never thought I would be doing live streams and teaching people in Europe, but here I am. I'm that person now. And as we stepped away from those roles, really to make room for others to step in and feel what we felt, to have the opportunity to grow. So when we stepped away because we realized, hey, this is great, but this is a season and we need to afford somebody else that opportunity. But when we stepped away from the call, turns out we didn't step away from each other. And we recognized there is room and space for us to continue this work. And the conversations we've had over the last several months, the text thread messages, I was joking with Ashley the other day. It's like we can be talking about the most mundane thing and it'll get deep. There'll be 2 points in a spreadsheet by the time we're done. Because that's who we are in our conversation. We found it in a lot of other circles. We don't necessarily have that in some of our other circles. And that's no shade to the other circles, but the way this particular table has been built, we really lean on that personal growth and development space. And we realized that this journey needed to continue. And that there's so much craziness in the world. There's so much content that's tearing people down in the world that if we didn't step up to offer our little portion, who would? So that's why the Grow You podcast. That's why the network, and that's why the 7 of us are on here on a Sunday afternoon.
I'm telling you what. I mean, we were joking. I mean, this is probably like the I am athlete personal professional development version. Yeah,
Well, I don't know about
Right.
that because they
Love
have
it.
issues. So,
they got some
Right,
issues.
what's
right,
the
right.
other one? Maybe
Minus the issues. How about that?
minus
Minus
the
the
issues.
issues.
The
But
pivot.
but
the
in
Pivot.
pivot. Yeah, that we
the
Yeah.
pivot.
pivot, exactly. We love us some pivot. We do. But just as Bottle just said, we are building our own table. That's one of the things that he's been saying, building our own table. I do want to talk a bit about, and AD's going to give you all some perspective about this upcoming series that we have called The Calling. It's called The Calling. Now, those of you that, I'm not going to make you take any notes, but I just want you to get in the pattern. I want you guys to get in the pattern. Just write it down. The series is called The Calling. So, AD, what is it that we wanted to do with this series? What is this calling about?
Yeah, so it's great that you mentioned that. And Derek stated briefly in his discussion about the why behind what we plan on doing, or better yet, what we feel we've been called to do, is really being clear about number one, the person who was calling you, and then being able to identify that specific thing you've been called to do. So, with the series that we have coming up, um, there's going to be a lot of topics that we are going to really dive into when we discuss your calling. We're going to talk about, are you qualified? Right? You've been called to do something, but do you believe that you've been qualified to do that thing? When do you know it's time for you to transition out of that calling? Is it seasonal? Is it a lifetime call? So all of those things are going to be important, and we have so many different perspectives. You're going to hear from each of us at various times that we'll be able to give our unique perspective on the calling you may be searching for, or unclear about a calling that you may have. I promise you, with the information that we will be sharing, it will help with your clarity, number one, and it'll really get you on track to operating within the calling that you have.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And like, we're gonna be dripping more of this particular content. We're gonna we'll pass it on over to and I want to do this quickly as we kind of can, because again, just as they're referenced, I mean, it just takes one thought and then we here for 8 hours. But we can do we can do this. I want to just open up the floor for us to just kind of just talk from our hearts about, where we are the season then versus where you are now. Whether that's like a year ago versus now, or however you kind of want to take it. um, but I would say, and I'll just start off with saying, because in this theme of the calling, for me, I was called to better understand who Ashley was. That was sort of that was the calling that God really had to sit me down to think through. Who, outside of all your titles and all the things that you do, who are you? Do you actually know who you are? And so what's beautiful about that is that you get vulnerable, and as the people say, like naked with your own self, and then you begin to really start to see, no, I'm not my title, I'm not this, I'm not that. And so now, as we kind of go into the current space, now it's like it's the full Ashley. It is understanding my voice, my power, where the gifts and where it is that I am growing into. Hint, hint, grow you. Where it is that I am growing into. So yeah, I'd love to know, Keeman. Tell us kind of a then versus now. What's sort of a little bit of a recurring theme that you're sort of seeing, or just sort of where you kind of are thinking.
Well, from my standpoint, just me then, and this was back in what I would say 2019 time frame, 2018. I wasn't being truthfully authentic with myself. I was more so, kind of just kind of fitting in, not really wanting to be seen. But as time went on in this group and you guys, I am now going into who I am supposed to be. Flaws, good things, bad things, but I am being authentic. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a relieving feeling. It's just like an awesomeness, growth. I mean, it's truly done grown so much. I can't even explain it, because now I enjoy being in the front. I enjoy talking. I enjoy speaking. I enjoy just me being me. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I have. That's it.
Oh, that's good. That's almost like from a silent superhero, to
Mhm.
out in the front. Okay, that's a book
Mhm.
right there. Someone gotta,
Amen.
that's a book. All
We
right,
don't know about
anyone
those
else?
silent
Yeah, yeah.
superheroes, Ashley.
Oh, oh. Yeah, anyone could just hop in. Come on, y'all. Yeah.
I'll hop in. Um, and I want to lean in briefly on something you said, but it was such a turning point for me. I remember the lesson that you taught months ago when you talked about leaning into the fullness of Ashley Schuler. And we've talked about that on a few occasions. And I really had to sit back and think, what does that mean to me? And that again, the beauty of working alongside you is that the lessons from the six of you were just penetrating me and just shaping and transforming me in such a way. But that stepping into the fullness of who I'm supposed to be has been so important. So over the course of the last year, I mean, I've transitioned positions with education. I went from being a classroom teacher to being a specialist who now covers 11 schools, and I now coach new teachers. I mean, one of the new teachers I'm coaching was my student. I had her in the eighth grade years ago. Now, as an adult, I'm her coach again, really. I coached her as a child, and I'm coaching her as an adult. And just being in this role and moving in this space has been just transformative. I'm recognizing that my power and my voice isn't pouring into other people. I became Extreme Execution Certified, which is another Eric Thomas an associate's program. Forgive us for dropping a name a lot, but that's the origin story. So it is what it is. But then that coaching and just learning the value of one, understanding my own superpowers. What am I good at? And what's not my strength, right? Not that it's a weakness, it's just not my strength. And then learning to see that in other people and bring that to other people. When I sit on a call with somebody and I'm walking them through that process and unlocking those doors, that's my purpose. Like when I can step out and just through conversation move the needle for somebody to get their life going in a different trajectory, a more positive trajectory, that's gold to me. So that's what I'm excited about. Like being a part of this community and walking alongside you guys has transformed who I am, which then allows me to transform who other people are. You can't even put a price tag on that.
And if I can highlight something, because I remember when Derek, reaching out to Derek, like talking to Derek and talking about being in this leadership can he talk leadership seat, and there was so much hesitation. And I think a lot of times other people will see something in someone that we don't see in ourselves. So to hear you speak of being a specialist now and being in the front and really like sitting within your calling, because again, we can be called into multiple places. It's just a breath of fresh air. Even with Keyman, again, he went from being a chat master behind the scenes
Okay.
front, right? Like Bottle, like just everyone and having conversations about like, is this really where I'm supposed to go? And even knowing like the things that Bottle is doing. And like everyone's journey being a part of that and watching that, like Tear touching the youth in a different way, which is so important now. And when we speak of youth, my daughter's watching. So, hey, baby, I love you. But it was even important for me to share like, my experiences and the things that I'm doing with her because I was called to be a mom. So our callings are in so many different ways and I'm in different capacities. And by having all these amazing like minds here, yes, we have that spiritual component, but we have so many components within these conversations that we're having that can touch the mother, right? The entrepreneur, the person that is in whatever role that you're in, we all come with those perspectives. So I think that everyone touching, she's so funny. I'm looking at her text messages because she really thinks like, kids and YouTube child. But anyway, but I'm just grateful for the opportunity to just give and see like the next generation even tapping in and learning from us. So there's so much value in this space and place. So but I'll pass it back to you, Ashley, because I know we're about to wrap it up, with this little nugget. But yeah, I appreciate you so
Absolutely.
much.
We just in the preview, and so AD and then Tara, yeah, and then we'll just wrap this thing on up.
Yeah, for me, I became a student of the DISC assessment, which is a tool that all of us are familiar with, all of us use. And I realized that when I'm working in my superpower, I'm very creative. Being someone who associates higher on the I spectrum than any other, I'm a creative person. I love to think and come up and conceptualize things. The challenge for me was taking that creative thought to execution and making it a thing. So before we really hopped on, we were doing our behind the scenes conversations. I shared with the team how there was something specific that I wanted to do and had wanted to do for over a decade. And again, I wanted to make sure that this was something that I can do with a group of people. So years ago, when we were really in our developmental stage as leaders in the community, I was about, let's do it together, let's do this. In this season of my life, it's getting done with or without you. But the great thing about it is I have a group of individuals that not only have the same mindset, but they will walk alongside me as I am completing or executing certain tasks. And they will not only cheer me on, but they will support me in that journey. And that's one of the great things about this unit of individuals. We call ourselves the Avengers because we are great individually, but when we come together, it is magic.
Unstoppable. Yes.
Right, exactly. So that is what really shifted for me, going from believing that I had to do something with others for it to be successful in a sense, to now just being like, okay, hey, if I have a thought, it is up to me to take it from that thought to its actual execution. If it is to be, it's up to me.
Oh,
Can,
that's good
let me
stuff,
let me
AD.
put something on real
And
quick. I'm sorry, Tara.
oh,
Real,
good.
just real quick. I want to be clear to people listening, and even somebody catches on the replay. The power in this relationship is we don't just come to each other for confirmation. We come to each other for correction too. And you need equal measures of both.
I agree on that. I agree on that. But I think about what we do together and the fact that we're starting our conversation out about the calling. And I think the audience needs it too, because I know that there's uncertainty in the lives of other people. People are unsure about, how to live their life, what their purpose is, and, what direction they should go next. What's the next thing? And so being sure about your calling, understanding your calling helps you make those hard decisions that you need to make. And the life that you want to live, the life that you desire. If you are not living it, there's a decision that has to be made. And so I'm definitely grateful that we decided, if you guys only understood how much we have talked about the calling prior to deciding to do this, talk about our calling. And so I think when you get those different perspectives, when you hear about the journey that we have taken, you can't help but to make the good decisions for your life too. And so I'm just grateful that for one, I get to do life with my co-hosts that are here, but that I have done life with a lot of other people too, and we have brought those perspectives here, and we just got to share it. We can't hold on to it. We got to share it. And so you guys are going to get some good stuff. And I'm just so grateful that you guys are here and that this is the calling that has been set before us. And
Amen.
we said it before you.
Amen. Before we wrap up, let me hop in there and share my 2 cents. So I believe that if you guys remember, we chose the calling as our first topic because we were in a transition period win with that personal development community. And so we decided that people, because they weren't handling it the best of ways that they could, and some of us even were still struggling with that challenge of moving forward and doing what it is that we know we're meant to do. And we're like, man, people need to really tap into their calling. And in my regard, personally, I know when I was in that community, I was always colorful, always me, always being who I am, but I wasn't always operating in the space that I knew I could operate in. And it wasn't until we made a decision, me personally, it wasn't a group decision. We all personally made our own decisions to graduate from that university until I started to walk into what truly is my calling, which is to help and bless other people in a multitude of ways. And so that's why I was introduced to the coaching aspect of who I am. And it has helped change lives already from the perspective of men, women, and all types of other people. So yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm happy for the listeners because they get a peek into what we already have been privy to for years now, that we get to share our knowledge, our insight, our perspective on these different topics, starting with the call. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. And I'll kick it back over to Ashley. She'll wrap us up and we out here.
All right. No, this is phenomenal. Again, we just wanted to be here to just kick this thing off and just set the tone, right? We are going to be um, unpacking everything from the podcast. You're going to get more of truly what it's about too. Also with the live stream as well, you're definitely going to be getting real-time updates as we're sharing in real time where we're growing into and what challenges that we're facing and how we're navigating that as well. And so one of the things I think is so important in terms of the podcast is that not all of us are going to be on there at the same time, which is really cool. So it's think of it like The View, think of it like The Real. You have multiple co-hosts, but the episodes may just have Tara and Keeman and myself, or AD and Aisha and Derek, or myself and Tara and Derek. So you're going to get these really great niche perspectives within the calling, within each topic. And again, we're going to wrap this thing up for you all, and then we're gonna see you all next time. This is going to be a weekly live stream. We're gonna get all the information to you all. We want you guys to sign up in our Linktree, which we have a MailChimp for you guys to sign up for the emails. But we're gonna update our show notes, and we'll be on our social media channels as well, making sure you guys are staying connected. So again, grow with us. And so welcome to this journey. And so thank you all, and we're out. Bye.
We'll see you next week.